What I'm looking at right now is beyond amazing. The programmer XProger ported the original Tomb Raider to the old and very slow Game Boy Advance. And there's no hardware modifications, this is simply super optimized code. Several of you have asked me what I think about this since I programmed 3D on the Game Boy Advance, so I wanted to make this video to share my thoughts. It definitely was not possible to make a 3D game like this on the original Game Boy or Game Boy Color. Now the Nintendo DS, we did see several 3D games, but the Game Boy Advance, it fell in this weird middle ground where it wasn't meant for 3D. Talented programmers of very clean and optimized code can really push the hardware to get closer to 3D. Our computers today are so fast we have a hard time even imagining a slow computer. This is one of the first sample codes I found of a raycaster on the Game Boy Advance. And I recorded this in real time, so this is the actual frame rate for the Game Boy Advance, which really puts the Tomb Raider demo into perspective. In fact, if this was just a video, I wouldn't believe it, but XProger included the download link to test it on real hardware or an emulator. I'll put a link to his channel, and I highly recommend that you check out his great work. So let me just show the game and let you know what I think.
Welcome to my home. I'll take you on a guided tour.
So what really impresses me right now is the fact that this is a third-person perspective game. First-person perspective, you really don't have to render your main character, but here you have to render a 3D polygon character with texture and smooth animations. It's really difficult, and on top of that, you have a floating camera. So the camera has to follow the character and also avoid wall collisions and readjust. It's almost like having two different characters on screen at the same time.
Let's do some tumbling. Press the jump button.
Another thing that stands out to me is the sound. I've usually avoided sound on the Game Boy Advance because it is difficult and it's slow and it takes up CPU computations that takes away from the graphics. And all the sound mixing you have to do yourself, so you have to mix the music, the voiceover, the footsteps, all that together, which really is slow on the CPU. I also really like the smooth depth of field shading, which is really cool and hard to do considering this is mode 4, which limits the color palette to 256 colors, so it's really impressive that it fades so smoothly. I also noticed that the world seems to be built out of maybe square blocks on a grid. I can kind of see the floor breaking into squares, which is a good optimization technique. It makes the math really easy to find out where the player is in the grid. And also, a cube is great to draw because it follows so many rules. You never have to draw the opposite face, so if you draw the front face, you can ignore the back. If you draw the top, you can ignore the bottom. So it's a very quick optimization. And even the file size, you only need to save maybe 4 points and a height map, and that's it. I'm really impressed with how smooth and easy it is to play, and it looks great on the Game Boy Advance. There's even a nice detail of the skin changing colors in the shade or in the light. Even simple things like a sloped floor we kind of take for granted, but this has a lot of extra math involved in figuring out where the player's location should be, depending on where it is on the slope. And then implementing gravity when you fall off. I can kind of see tearing in between some of the walls, little black lines that is probably just from simple rounding errors, because in order to get this kind of speed on screen, you need to avoid division and you need to avoid float values. Float values are simply just a number but with a decimal point. All your math will fly by a lot faster if it's all single whole numbers. Still very, very impressive. I believe you can even push start and yeah, have a floating camera too. So I'm really impressed with the clipping on here too. Normally this can cause some errors or some problems, especially when points are behind the camera. And I put this together to show what I mean. The red is kind of what you think happens in a 3D video game, with the player moving around a wall. But the green is what actually happens. Your camera stays perfectly still and the world around you rotates. It creates the same illusion. And the blue is what happens when points are behind the character. You're basically dividing by 0, which you really can't do. So it takes some extra math involved to create proper clipping as in the yellow above. So there's another level here. Animated doors, even something like that is really impressive to me. I was going to point out I think I see screen tearing, which usually happens when you have a lower frame rate. I had to add this into my Minecraft game. If there's too many things drawn on screen and the frame rate is too low, go ahead and just draw whatever you have on the screen, which you can see here, which we really don't always notice, but the frame rate increase is what we like. All these enemies on screen have their own animation updated, their own polygons, their own collision detection. It's impressive how much is actually going on screen. But it's pretty cool to see these wolves here walking around and having extra animations. I love seeing this, and I love seeing the Game Boy Advance coming back and people getting excited to program for it. There's a Discord and a growing community that will help you out, and source material to find online. There's online competitions, and I hope to make my own video to teach you guys how to program on the Game Boy Advance. So please check out XProger's channel and all of his other videos. Maybe we'll end up seeing the full Tomb Raider game on the Game Boy Advance, or possibly other ports to come. I want to thank you for watching, and I hope to see you next time.